and Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
Oh man, that was pretty funny. I would expect something like that from Trump, but JD Vance, I really wouldn't expect this kind of ratchetness from, like, coming at someone like that with, like, you know, like when people come at Trump, he comes right back at him with the same energy, and now JD's doing the same thing, and I like that. This is actually making me kind of sad because everybody's been beating Jasmine down lately, and I really don't like Jasmine, but I'm starting to realize that she's about to disappear, and without that beacon of light and ratchetness, like, where exactly would the Democrat Party be? You know, her, AOC, all these vocal people, Ilhan Omar, all these vocal criminals, and just do whatever, we can get away with anything, people, you know, that's what she is part of. And when she runs for Senate, she's going to get a rude awakening because you are not winning in Texas, Jasmine. You are not winning in Texas. You have a small district, and that was basically just gerrymandered to where you would win, okay? So now you're going to be running against, you know, Texas, and Texas is definitely red. And yeah, just thinking about that, I'm just wondering, is she gonna just completely disappear, or is she like gonna get a like hosting job on The View or something? Because I think The View would be open to someone like her, with her radical views of politics. But anyways, let's look on, because there's more of this interview. There's a lot of stuff that she said, and a lot of really, really, really crazy stuff. So listen on.
Democrats have long dreamed of turning Texas blue, or even a bit more purple, and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is hoping to finally make that dream a reality. She recently launched her campaign for the upcoming Texas Senate election, and as of now, she appears to be the front-runner, holding an 8-digit lead over her Democratic primary rival, Texas State Representative James Tallarico. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is back here with us. So, Congresswoman, let's start right there. With the way that the vice president speaks about you, the caricature he tried to make of you at this conservative youth conference, I think every black woman heard what he was trying to say there. It's extra laughable in a way because what precedes this moment is him coming out, you know, to an entire pyrotechnic show and rock music and fanfare for, you know, him to comment on your flair. But what do you think he's trying to say there? What do you think he's trying to signal at a conference like this to an audience like this?
Well, first of all, he's trying to rile up his base because right now we know that no matter if we're looking in deep red Tennessee, Mississippi, or Georgia, we know that we're swinging no less than 10 points. And unlike what we've had historically in Texas, because I know that you talked about the Texas dream of turning us blue, is that we have a candidate in me who absolutely plans to talk to any and everybody, and that is why they are afraid. The fact that he said I have a quote-unquote street girl persona, I'm sorry, but anybody that you talk to knows my credentials. They know that I've gone to school. They know that I'm educated. I never tried to put on some random story about where I came from, but at the end of the day, I am who I am, and I am authentic. And that is actually what they are fearful of, is my authenticity, because it rings true with every single American, whether they're a Texan or not. It rings true that I am fighting for real everyday people. And instead of talking about policy, when you're talking about the record speaks for itself, baby, let's talk about your record. Because the only reason you're the vice president is because the current president tried to have his last president killed.
What? What the fuck? I'm not really going to even laugh at that one, but that is pretty inflammatory, and we all know that's not true. Jasmine is a fucking liar. Like, that's all I gotta say about that. And honestly, I'm starting to see the closer and closer it becomes to her run for the Senate, whatever she thinks she's gonna win that. We all know she's not winning that in Texas, which is a red state. But the closer that she gets to that Senate run, she's becoming more unhinged. And I think it has to do with the fact that Texas just passed a law where they got 5 more seats, and her seat was just taken away.
So listen, I don't have time for him and their games. They are scared, and they should be scared. I need Texans to focus in. I need them to think about the fact that our 2 senators literally just voted against extending the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies. The big ugly bill where we know 17 million people in this country are going to lose their health care. Listen, I'm staying focused. I'm not going to be distracted. And when they can tell me about their policies that are helping Texans, then we can have a conversation.
Your launch speech about your campaign for Senate. And a lot of it was talking about the back and forth with Trump and other people who have put you down over the years. But there really wasn't that much about policy. So I want to give you the opportunity now to talk a little bit about that. Affordability is on everyone's minds. You talked about extending the ACA subsidies. Can you give us like a couple of other examples of policies that you would fight for to help Texans, your constituents, on affordability issues if you were granted a seat in the Senate?
Yeah, so first of all, I think we need to raise the minimum wage. We have not done that in a national way, and so Texas is not taking it upon themselves, so the minimum wage is still $7.25. Also know that ultimately, when I came down to making this decision, the Senate is the one that actually has oversight over the Supreme Court. It is time for us to actually exercise some oversight, and this is the only court, the highest court in the land. It's the only one that does not have any type of ethics that they have to follow. I think that we need to look at that. In addition to the fact, anyone who gets a lifetime appointment has to go through the Senate. And so it's time for us to make sure that we have someone who has been in those courtrooms and can make sure that the right judges are on the benches.
So out of everything she said, her policies, of course, is a big nothing burger. She's got no policies. She has no policies. We know that. And that's no big deal. We ain't got to worry about that. She's just Trump deranged. But the worst thing that she said was at the end there about the Supreme Court. And it's every left lunatic's dream to stack the courts. They know that it's a Republican advantage now. They know it would, these people have lifetime terms. They're going to be there for a while. There's nothing they could do. They can't vote them out until they die. So basically they're talking about stacking the courts, taking, let's say there's adding 5-6 justices that are all Democrats, all appointed by Democrats, but they have to get power to do that, and we can't let them get power. We can't. And during the midterms, we got to act like it's re-electing Trump, because if we don't do anything in the midterms, they're going to get control of the House, control of the Senate. Who knows what they get? We don't want them to have anything, because the more they have, the worse off we are going to be. And I'm just like, kind of scared hearing her say that, but I ain't scared that she's going to win the Senate seat at all, because in Texas it's red and she is just a lunatic. She's probably going to end up on The View or CNN or something like that eventually, and not into politics, because I don't think politicians even take her seriously.